Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, an update on the Valley's commercial real estate market. We'll recap the latest Arizona Town Hall, which dealt with state employment trends, and we'll hear from the author of a new book on hiking and dining. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The U.S. Supreme Court today refused to strike down a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruling against an Arizona law denying bail to some illegal immigrants accused of serious felony crimes. The Ninth Circuit had found no evidence showing that illegal immigrants posed a greater flight risk while awaiting trial, and the appeals court also said that Arizona's law violated due process by imposing a punishment before a conviction. Well, a new survey of real estate brokers shows that the Phoenix area commercial real estate market is slowly improving. For details, we spoke with Mark Stapp, who directs the Master of Real Estate Development program at ASU's W.P. Carey School of Business. Mark, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
The current state of the commercial real estate market in Phoenix is?
Shaky but optimistic.
And what does that mean?
You know, we see signs of recovery. We're making progress, but there are systemic issues in the economy that make the situation not quite so certain. So, you know, real estate is symptomatic of the overall economy. And you see segments in the commercial market that are positive, but because there's so many remaining issues in the economy with employment, changes in the retail industry, the changes in our population makeup, those kinds of things make it a little uncertain.
Is this specific to Arizona? Are other regions seeing the same thing?
Some of them are seeing the same thing. I think we have a particularly difficult recovery that has occurred. We're not seeing growth in areas that we have historically seen it in, with defense, aeronautics, microelectronics, things of that nature. We're seeing growth in other areas like biomedical and medical, but some of our traditional areas of employment, we're not seeing growth.
Why are those areas not seeing accelerated growth? What's happening out there?
Well, you know, some of them have to do with changes in spending on a national level. Some of it has to do with shifting segments of the economy. And some of it has to do with our own growth issues. You know, we are not some of the other metropolitan areas, and we're having continued difficulty in not just driving jobs, but driving higher wage earning jobs. And that does things like support retail, arts, culture, things of that nature.
I noticed in your report you said that slow growth approaching a tipping point. What does that mean?
So, you know, we've been in this recovery mode for quite a while. The good news is we weren't building that much new commercial space. So the growth that we've seen has been absorbing what's in the marketplace generally. We've seen some new development coming on, which is really the result of either specific tenants. So they're buildings that are being developed specifically for one tenant, much like you see with State Farm in Tempe. And, you know, yet so there's other product that's obsolete and may not really be suitable for this changing economy.
You mentioned State Farm. Obviously, things are happening down there in Tempe along Town Lake. Where are the hot spots for commercial real estate? Where are the not so hot spots?
You know, so hotspots, obviously Tempe has seen a lot of attraction. You know, we're beginning to see growth in places where we want to see growth as a mature metropolitan area. So that's infill development. You know, people rail on us for being the sprawl capital of the world, which we're not really. That's a misnomer. But the fact that we're seeing a lot of this growth that's coming, we'll call it inside the loop, I think is very positive for us. And I think some of that is a result of the cost of growing on the periphery right now. There's not a strong enough residential growth market to support growth on the periphery. But we're also seeing a desire to be a little bit more transit oriented. So you're seeing a lot of development around transit line, which is the reflection of really good public policy and infrastructure investment from many years ago.
Let's go to some of the rubrics in your report here. You mentioned home building, land prices, kind of referred to that there. What are you seeing out there?
You know, they're fluctuating. The home building industry is still trying to figure out what to do. It's not very strong here. I think until we figure out on a national level what we're doing about lending and what the public policy is going to be regarding lending and the restrictions on banks, it's probably not going to be very strong. I don't see interest rates going up quickly.
Home builders still buying land, though?
Home builders still buying land, but they're being very particular where they're buying it. And it's not that there's no home building, but it's, again, very much focused on infill. We see some in the Southeast Valley and some in the Northwest Valley.
Interesting. Okay, apartments. What are you seeing as far as vacancy rates? What are you seeing as far as rents?
So here's the thing is we've seen a lot of apartments under construction the last year or two. The pipeline is even bigger than what we've seen. And I think that that's positive. We may see another 6,000 to 8,000 units coming online here in the next year and a half, 2 years as these other projects get underway. That I think is good because that additional absorption of space is going to keep rental rates down. It's going to keep a downward pressure on them. We haven't had the wage growth, as I mentioned before, which means affordability becomes a really big issue for us. So we get more market units in the marketplace, it's going to help keep rents affordable.
As far as big box stores, vacancies and rents, what are you seeing out there?
You know, we don't see a lot of positive news for the big box you know, retail space. You've seen a lot of that space converted to other uses over the last 5, 6, 7 years. You know, retailing itself is going through a tremendous dynamic change with what they call omni-channel retailing, both online and mobile retailing, in technology and footprints getting smaller and distribution outlets changing. So the retail industry is changing quite a bit.
So that sounds like a tenant market to me.
I think it is a tenant market for sure. In some areas you see that the case, yet you see places like Scottsdale Fashion, which are still very dynamic and very much a viable product type.
As far as, and you started with the idea of you know, shaky but optimistic, what is needed to goose the commercial market in the Phoenix area and Arizona in general? What has to be done out there?
Well, it's jobs. It's all jobs, but it's not just jobs in number. It's jobs with higher wages that go to it, and it's wage growth. I mean, we hear that from a lot of economists all over the country in particular, but here, I think that that's particularly true. The other thing is, in order to get those, you know, we don't have the best brand from a global and a national perspective. We're in a position right now where I think we can define a brand, not have it be defined by default. And we need to pick that thing that differentiates us from other economies and helps us attract employers and keep employers that are already here and get high quality employees.
Well, I can't let you leave without asking, what is that thing?
You know, there's a couple of resources I think we have. I would say that, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, but we could brand ourselves as the health and wellness metropolitan area. We have the open space, we have the climate, we have new infrastructure. The good news is we're not burdened by old infrastructure. We're not burdened by a building stock that reflects older uses of space. Now, on one hand, we'd like to see that because we want the character, but quite honestly, we're well positioned to be the 21st century city. I think we need some really substantial public policy around driving a brand and a brand recognition and promise that would help.
All right. Very interesting stuff. Mark, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
latest Arizona Town Hall explored why the state's job growth lags the national average. Here now are two panelists who worked on the Town Hall report. Rebecca Timmer is Corporate Relations Director for Dibble Engineering, and Karen Taylor, Executive Vice President for Entitlements at DMB Associates. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
First of all, what is the Arizona Town Hall?
Well, Arizona Town Hall is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 1962. This was the 105th Arizona Town Hall. And what Town Hall does is brings together thought leaders from around Arizona, from all walks and cross-section, to focus on major issues that are impacting Arizona and build consensus on recommendations to help move whatever that topic is forward.
And it sounds like this topic, the major point of focus was employment trends, employment in general?
It was really economic development. You know, past topics have been water and education and state land reform, but this town hall focused on economic development and how do we move the state forward from an economic perspective.
And so what was discussed? What were some of the ideas thrown around?
Well, the big issues related to economic development are education and workforce development, infrastructure, tourism, and really what do we do about Arizona's image in order to attract the high-wage employers that we want to Arizona so that we can move our economy forward. So those were the primary areas of discussion.
Let's start with the image. We just heard about Arizona needs to kind of figure out a brand and move forward. Is that the general consensus out there, that a brand is needed? What are you talking about when you mention image?
Well, I think everybody is aware that there's room for improvement when it comes to that, and so the idea was to have in the future some folks come together to think about all aspects of Arizona and how we can improve on the brand and our image, whether it's tourism or our assets, and how we can highlight them.
Some of the assets, I noticed geographical assets were mentioned, unique assets to Arizona. What were you guys talking about there?
Well, a number of things actually. Obviously our climate, our sunshine, which has really driven our tourism industry for many, many years, which is one of our most important industries here as a base industry, bringing other people's money into our state. But in addition to that, we've got significant natural resources here, in particular in mining, and we've had a long history of mining. One of the things discussed, however, at Town Hall were some of the federal regulatory impediments that are preventing us from really capitalizing on those assets.
And so what do you do about some of those regulatory elements?
Well, there was a lot of discussion in our panel about that, and really the business community and the local policymakers actively engaging with our congressional delegation and working with them to try and rein in the ever-growing federal regulatory world.
And that sounds, in this election year, somewhat political. Are there partisan divides at the town hall? Because there are some folks who don't have too much of a problem with regulatory activity regarding the environment and those sorts of things.
Well, I think all the participants come with their areas of expertise and their belief systems, but the whole process that we go through builds consensus. So what is in the final report is agreed upon by everybody. There may be pieces and parts that people don't agree with every item, but overall they agree with the report, and it's a consensus of the group.
I know that along with infrastructure, education was mentioned as a major focus here. What can be done regarding education? What does a town hall think needs to be done?
One of the recommendations talks about funding, and one of the terms used was cradle to career. So, you know, it's all aspects. And I think another piece that was talked about was having a comprehensive plan, a review of where we are and how do we make it better, so that people understand where additional funding would go.
Was there consensus with education, or were there battle lines drawn?
You know, I think there was. And to follow up on Rebecca's comments about Town Hall being a place to convene people from various backgrounds and really come to a consensus on some of these issues. But the consensus on education was we have to make it a priority, we have to properly fund it, we have to fund it to pre-recession levels, which we have not yet done. And if we don't get this piece right, we're going to have difficulty on the overall economic development effort. Because employers, again, when they look at Arizona, they want to make sure that they can come to a place that has a qualified workforce. And right now, they don't perceive us that way. And so we have to get this piece of the puzzle right.
Get the piece of the puzzle right, then get the branding right to make sure people know the puzzle has been fitted. As far as learning from other states, learning from other regions, was that discussed?
We didn't talk a lot about specific examples. We did some in the conversation about incentives. What are appropriate government incentives to attract businesses to Arizona? Education again comes back to the fore, because education provides the quality of life, provides the workforce that employers need, and other states are doing a better job in that regard. Other states have other tools in their economic development toolbox that we do not have that should be considered. And other states have done a great job with their image. We look at our competitive set, whether it's Colorado or Texas or Washington State. They're our competitor, and we have to be able to project an image that they do, and we haven't done that. And so we need to look to those other states for lessons.
Last question. What do you want people to take from the Arizona's Economy report coming out of Town Hall?
Well, I would hope that they would take the time to read it, and as much as there are a variety of things that we want the legislature and the new governor to look at, there's pieces in here for individuals that they can contribute to communities. The panel, all the panel members are going to be doing outreach programs within their communities to make sure they understand what was in there and how they can help. So I would hope the valuable information that's been put together will be shared and people will take it to heart.
All right, very good. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Arizona travel writer Roger Naylor has a new book out, Boots and Burgers, an Arizona handbook for hungry hikers. Features trails and eateries for those looking to lose a few pounds and then put them back on with a good meal. We welcome Roger Naylor to Arizona Horizon. Good to have you back.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Once again, you've written a book. This one you say is your dream book. It seems like every book is your dream. You go out there and just have some fun and write about it, don't you?
You know, I'm writing about hamburgers and hiking trails. If I can't have fun, I'm doing something wrong.
You
So
call
this is a great, because this is my favorite day. Think about this. Get up in the morning, you go to a trail, you hike in the wild country, hike for miles. You see some scenery, you enjoy some solitude, maybe see some wildlife. You walk for miles, you work up a sweat, you work up an appetite. On the way home, you stop at a little diner or cafe where burgers leap off the grill like trout from a stream. You bite into that tender, juicy, salty, beefy package and you feel like a kid again. That's my favorite day. I'll take that day anytime I can get it.
And it's interesting because your wife is vegetarian.
She is.
How do you pull that off?
Well, that's why I'm eating burgers out in diners and cafes. As a kid, when I was in my 20s, burgers were a staple every day of my life. I was such a picky eater as a child, my mom is appalled anyone pays me to write about food. But you know, once I got married, my wife is a vegetarian. She expanded my culinary horizons. I enjoy a wide variety of things, but I've never lost my passion for burgers. So now, instead of every day, they're once a week, once every couple of weeks.
All right,
They're
let's open up the book here. I'm so glad that you included Horton Creek outside. Horton Springs, that Horton Creek Trail is a nice, pleasurable hike, but Horton Springs is like Eden up there. It's a wonderful hike. It's a wonderful area.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Spring, summer, or fall, anytime you're there, it is terrific. Yeah, you see, you know, some of the fall colors that are just beautiful, and that creek, there's a music to that creek that just you don't find. You know, being a creek in Arizona is sometimes a part-time job. You know, it's not. You know, our rivers and creeks, sometimes they're wet, sometimes they're not. And Horton runs year-round, and it's just such a music. It's a little symphony to sit by that creek.
Now that's outside Payson. You included an eatery in Payson. There's a lot of little eateries in Payson.
Yeah, there's some great ones, and I had a couple of really good burger joints included, so I kind of had to pick one. But there's, you know, a lot of fun places, and besides the eateries, I always include, you know, like there's a terrific little museum there. I give that a mention. I always include some other attractions, some places to stay, that kind of thing.
I didn't, and I may have missed this because I went through it relatively quick. Did you include Fossil Creek in here? I saw the creamery.
I did not.
How
I
come?
did not because it's a little overrun. It's a little crowded with people,
It
and
is.
I'm afraid they're starting to sometimes damage that fragile environment. So I didn't want to send more people there. I
Okay.
feel like the people that know about it, you know about it, and if it can get a little bit of a breather, then that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, talk about Garden of Eden down there when
It
you get
is.
to the bottom
It's
of
very
that.
spectacular.
Angel's Window at the Grand Canyon. You could do a book or
Oh,
five
yeah.
books on
Yeah.
hikes there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, there's some beautiful. That's again, that's one of the little sidebars because you know there's a couple of great hikes on the North Rim Trail, and then there's some of these beautiful scenic drives that I think, you know, people sometimes forget about, and one of them leads back to that Angel's Window, and it's just one of the most spectacular drives I've ever been on.
Gorgeous. My goodness. We get to Flagstaff here and the Kachina Trail. Do I see Aspen here at the Kachina Trail?
Oh yeah, this is one of my go-to hikes for fall color, Aspen. Every year I try to get up there. Aspen and Beach Springs, which are both in the book, I think are some of the most gorgeous color in the fall. But you know, beautiful summer hikes with the ferns growing and the wildflowers and stuff. So you know, just beautiful spring through fall. Probably getting a little chilly now. Maybe you have a dusting of snow up there because it's about 9,000 feet. But
That just
you know,
means getting a warmer burger, doesn't it?
exactly. you once you're hiking at that elevation, you definitely work up your appetite.
Yeah. Watson Lake in Prescott. That's a nice little hike too. It's a nice area.
That's a spectacular area, and that's brand new. You know, they've had some of the trails around Watson Lake for a while, but just this past year they made the final connection. So it's an actual loop, almost about a 5-mile loop, completely around Watson Lake, and you know, it's by far my favorite hike in Prescott. It's just you see such a variety of scenery on this trail and stuff.
We want to get some of the lower elevate. Cochise Trail, Sunsites. Am I seeing a causeway or a bridge? What am I seeing with this particular
Well, yeah,
photograph?
you cross a bridge, and it starts out from a campground. You cross a little bridge. It follows a nature trail, and this takes you up to Cochise Stronghold. And that's Half Moon Tank. That's a little dammed watering hole there that creates a little riparian area in that.
Gorgeous.
But it's just you're up among these granite boulders, and you get up to this place where this was, you know, where Cochise and the Chiricahua Apache lived for years and years, and this was their stronghold. This is what kept them safe for a lot of years. You can understand, because when you're up there, you can see Fort Huachuca. They could literally see the Army.
Yeah.
2 days they could see it as it left the fort, so they
Yeah.
could see it 2 days before it could arrive there and stuff. So
We got about a minute left here. How did you pick which trails? How did you pick which restaurants?
that's the toughest part. You know, these are just some of my favorites. I could turn around tomorrow and write another book like this with new trails, new burgers. I could do it 3 or 4 or 5 times and stuff. These are just some of my favorites. I tried to give a good mix of ones that, you know, easy ones, hard ones, some that are very well known, and others that maybe you don't know so well.
Yeah.
So it's good for novices or grizzled old timers like me. I think it encourages you to get out there.
It's a great book. Boots and Burgers. It's an attractive book. It's fun to read. It's fun to go through, and fun to take with you when you get out there on the trail. Good to have you back. Thanks for
Pleasure.
joining us.
Thank you.
And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. The Journalist Roundtable will be here tomorrow, so don't miss that. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.